Turkey facilitates historic peace accord between Ethiopia and Somalia. In a significant diplomatic breakthrough, Somalia and Ethiopia have reached a landmark agreement to resolve their long-standing dispute, particularly concerning Ethiopia's ties with Somaliland. The accord, brokered by Turkey after 8 months of intense negotiations, was signed by Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud in 2020 Ankara on December 11, 2024. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who played a crucial role in mediating the talks, announced the agreement during a joint news conference. The deal reaffirms both countries' respect for each other's sovereignty and territorial integrity while addressing Ethiopia's desire for sea access. It marks a turning point in relations between the two nations, with both leaders agreeing to set aside past disagreements and work towards mutual prosperity. The agreement also outlines plans for technical negotiations to begin by February 2025, aimed at finalizing details of Ethiopia's access to the sea. While respecting Somalia's sovereignty, Turkey continues to play a pivotal role in mediating talks between Somalia and Ethiopia as tensions persist over Ethiopia's controversial deal with the breakaway region of Somaliland. The ongoing diplomatic efforts aim to resolve the dispute and maintain stability in the Horn of Africa. In July 2024, Turkey hosted the first round of mediation talks in Ankara, bringing together representatives from Somalia and Ethiopia. A second round followed in August, focusing on easing tensions stemming from Ethiopia's agreement with Somaliland. Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan reported notable progress during these discussions. The talks have evolved from shuttle diplomacy to direct meetings between the foreign ministers of Somalia and Ethiopia. Turkey has proposed a framework centered on ensuring landlocked Ethiopia's access to the sea via Somalia and securing Addis Abeba's recognition of Somalia's territorial integrity and political sovereignty. As part of the ongoing mediation efforts, Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud and Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed are scheduled to meet in Ankara this week. The Somali president has already arrived in Turkey at the invitation of President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, marking a significant step in the negotiation process. Turkey is set to host crucial talks this week between Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud and Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, aiming to resolve the ongoing dispute over Ethiopia's quest for port access in the Horn of Africa. This diplomatic initiative comes in the wake of Ethiopia's controversial naval agreement with Somaliland, which Somalia views as a threat to its sovereignty. Turkey, leveraging its strong ties with both nations, has already facilitated 2 rounds of ministerial-level discussions earlier this year. The upcoming high-level meeting in Ankara is seen as a potential breakthrough, with sources suggesting that Somalia might offer Ethiopia access to a port near its border in exchange for Ethiopia withdrawing from its agreement with Somaliland. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan is expected to play a pivotal role if the talks progress positively, underscoring Turkey's growing influence in the region. Turkey's involvement in mediating this dispute is driven by its strong diplomatic ties with both countries and its strategic interests in the region. Ankara aims to enhance its influence in Africa through soft power tools and protect its substantial investments in both countries. While challenges remain, the continued engagement demonstrates Turkey's commitment to facilitating dialogue and seeking a peaceful resolution. The upcoming meeting between the Somali and Ethiopian leaders in Ankara is expected to build on the momentum achieved so far and potentially lead to a breakthrough in negotiations. Turkey has emerged as a significant mediator in the ongoing tensions between Somalia and Ethiopia, particularly concerning Ethiopia's deal with the breakaway region of Somaliland. This mediation effort is part of Turkey's broader strategy to expand its influence in the Horn of Africa, HOA, and protect its substantial investments in the region. Turkey's strong diplomatic ties with both Somalia and Ethiopia, coupled with its economic and military presence, have positioned it as a trusted intermediary in this complex geopolitical landscape. Turkey's increased involvement in the HOA is driven by multiple factors, including its desire to enhance its global standing, protect its economic interests, and expand its strategic depth. By leveraging its soft power tools and existing relationships, Turkey aims to solidify its role as a key player in African affairs. The country has made significant investments in Somalia, including managing critical infrastructure like the Mogadishu port and airport, and has established its largest overseas military base in the country. Similarly, Turkey has invested heavily in Ethiopian manufacturing and agriculture, giving it considerable influence in Addis Ababa. These economic and strategic interests underscore Turkey's commitment to maintaining stability in the region and explain its proactive approach to mediating the Somalia-Ethiopia dispute. However, the situation remains complex. Somalia's army and Jubaland forces are reportedly on the brink of conflict, with military buildup intensifying. Jubaland forces have massed in Burgabo, just 40 kilometers from Raskamboni, where federal government troops have been airlifted, raising fears of a potential clash. The tension between Ethiopia and Somalia has provided Egypt with an opportunity to pursue its geostrategic interests in the region. Egypt, along with Eritrea, has joined Somalia's sovereignty cause, forming a tripartite agreement in October 2020. Kenya has recently initiated efforts to mediate between Somalia and Ethiopia. While Ethiopia's Ministry of Foreign Affairs has announced its acceptance of Kenyan-mediated talks, it remains unclear if Somalia, which has been demanding the revocation of the Memorandum of Understanding as a precondition for dialogue, has agreed to participate. As the situation continues to evolve, the international community watches closely, hoping for a peaceful resolution to the complex geopolitical tensions in the Horn of Africa. On the other hand, tensions are escalating rapidly in southern Somalia as federal forces and Jubaland troops edge closer to potential conflict. According to reports from Casimata Online, Jubaland forces have amassed in significant numbers in Burgabo, just 40 kilometers from Raskamboni, where thousands of federal government troops have been recently deployed. The Somali National Army in Raskamboni has been placed on high alert, sparking fears of an imminent large-scale confrontation. This military buildup occurs against the backdrop of broader regional tensions, particularly between Somalia and Ethiopia. The root of the dispute lies in Ethiopia's January 2024 Memorandum of Understanding with Somaliland, which Somalia views as a violation of its territorial integrity. The agreement would grant Ethiopia access to 20 kilometers of coastline for 50 years, potentially including a naval base in exchange for a stake in Ethiopian Airlines for Somaliland. The diplomatic landscape in the Horn of Africa has become increasingly complex, with Egypt and Eritrea aligning with Somalia's sovereignty claims against Ethiopia. This has created an intricate network of alliances and counter-alliances in the region. While Kenya and Uganda have offered to mediate between Somalia and Ethiopia, with Ethiopia showing willingness to engage in talks, Somalia's position remains firm, insisting on the revocation of the Ethiopia-Somaliland Agreement as a prerequisite for dialogue. The international community is closely monitoring the situation, with Turkey emerging as a key mediator. The recent breakthrough achieved in Ankara, resulting in a landmark agreement between Ethiopia and Somalia, has raised hopes for a sustained diplomatic resolution that could prevent further destabilization in this volatile region.